All right, let's dive into this insane collection of cars. We're going to go from a literal piece of junk that costs $1 all the way up to a priceless piece of history valued at a mind-blowing $100 million. So what really changes as that price tag climbs from basically nothing to a fortune you can barely wrap your head around? Well, that's what we're going to break down here. We'll see how a car's value goes from just basic utility to wild features to futuristic tech and finally to pure, priceless history. And get this, the total value of all the cars in this lineup is over $250 million. We're not just talking about luxury here. We're dealing with absolutely astronomical sums of money, where these cars are basically assets, like a famous painting. Okay, so let's start our journey at the absolute bottom, just to set a baseline. What in the world does a $1 car actually get you? This right here perfectly sums up the huge jump in value. On one hand, you have a completely worthless car that needs thousands of dollars just to get it moving. On the other, you have a vehicle that offers military-grade protection and its own smokescreen. The difference isn't just about the price, it's about survival. So now let's see what happens when we move past just getting from A to B. The price starts to climb based on these incredible, sometimes unbelievable functions. We're getting into cars that do a whole lot more than just drive. That first big jump in price brings a big jump in technology. For $100 grand, you're not just buying speed or leather seats, you're buying convenience and a real taste of the future with stuff like Tesla's self-driving. But then, you triple that price, and the car completely transforms from a tech gadget into your own personal fortress. I mean, we're talking thick, bulletproof windows, explosive-proof armor, and even a defensive smokescreen system. It's built for a whole different purpose. And to prove its value, the car went through a pretty unique durability test. They blew up a normal car, and then they did the same to this one. And the goal wasn't just to see if the crash test dummies would survive, but if the chocolate bars inside would. And you know what? They did.
Now, imagine doing something that just feels completely wrong. Driving a car that costs $500,000 and pointing it directly into the water. Well, that's exactly what this next vehicle is made for.
Because this car is a true two-in-one machine. On land, it's a high-performance car. But you drive it into a lake, push a button, and boom, it turns into a high-speed boat. It can even do donuts on the water. It's insane. All right, the next tier of pricing takes us into some really wild territory. We're talking prototypes and groundbreaking vehicles that just completely change what a car can even be. We're leaving the roads and even gasoline behind. Yeah, this is that moment where you realize you are not looking at a normal car anymore. For $600,000, you can own a vehicle that is completely street legal, but it also just happens to have wings and a propeller. And this isn't some movie prop. No way. It's a fully functional vehicle that literally bridges the gap between the road and the sky. You can drive it on the highway and then take off and fly at 8,000 feet. It is the ultimate hybrid machine. So here, the idea of value kind of shifts. It's not just about cool features anymore. It's about innovation. This $2 million car isn't for sale. It's a prototype built just to prove that hydrogen could be the future of high performance.
And the performance is just mind-blowing. A range of over 1,000 miles, a top speed of 221 miles per hour. But the absolute craziest part, the only thing that comes out of the exhaust is water. It's so clean, you can literally drink it.
And this is where the value equation changes completely. We've gone past innovation, and now we're in the world of pure exclusivity. At $10 million, the value isn't just in the engineering, it's in the fact that it's so rare. This Koenigsegg isn't one of a few. It is the only one in the entire world.
So what makes it worth that much? Well, it's this whole symphony of extreme engineering. A monster twin-turbo V8 engine, a frame made of air-core carbon fiber, and get this, crushed diamonds are literally mixed into the paint. This thing isn't just a car, it's a masterpiece of performance. Okay, now we've reached the absolute peak of car value. At this level, you're not buying technology or features anymore. You're buying history. You are buying a legend.
This is just a perfect example of how rarity and time can create an unbelievable investment. Jay Leno bought this McLaren F1 in 1998 for $800,000. Today, it's worth $20 million. Think about that for a second. It has gone up in value by almost $1 million for every single year he's owned it.
At $30 million, a car's value is pretty much all about its story.
This isn't just any Ferrari. It was a personal gift from Enzo Ferrari himself to his greatest rival, Henry Ford II. It's like a physical symbol of that legendary feud between two car giants.
Then we climb to 50 million, and the value is all tied up in pure icon status. This car wasn't just owned by Steve McQueen, it was his daily driver. Every single mile on that odometer is a piece of Hollywood history, infused with the legendary coolness of the King of Cool himself. And finally, the $100 million car. This is the world's very first Ferrari. It's so valuable that just to move it requires this massive security operation, with a police escort and having the entire road sanitized. Its value is way beyond being a machine. It's a protected artifact.
So, after this journey from a $1 rust bucket to a $100 million museum piece, what if we really learned about what a car is worth?
You know, this whole thing leaves us with one final big question. A car is designed to move, right? It's supposed to be driven. But at what point does its value get so huge that it can't be driven anymore? When does a car stop being a car and just become a static piece of art? What do you think?